Good morning.
Good morning.
Ah,
We are enjoying the beautiful, crisp, cool North Carolina weather.
Actually, what he really wants to say is that we were having a little bit of a disagreement about time management before we popped on, and then
You were having a disagreement with how I manage time.
right with the
Yeah,
project that I actually
exactly.
needed his help on.
Yes, yes.
Oh, but he did the thing that we've been talking to y'all about, for the last year. He started breathing me in and matched my breath, and then it was like I went, oh come on,
Yeah,
and it
you were like,
worked.
don't try to do it,
I
and
went,
it
don't
still
even
worked.
try to breathe me in
Yeah,
and calm me
yeah.
down. But he did. There is something to be said about when, whoever's the masculine pole starts breathing you in. And this actually works with girlfriends too. If you find that it might be getting a little bit heated, or maybe you're with your children, whoever is like the mama bear in that space can actually breathe in. But he just did that, and you calm me down.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's like the Jedi.
You needed calming down.
It's not the Jedi. It's not the Jedi mind trick. It's the Jedi breath trick.
It
So just
is.
so
It
y'all know.
is. It is.
Anyway.
Oh, good morning, Lynn. Great seeing
Hi,
you.
Lynn. Oh, I was just thinking
uh,
about you. I love that girl. So we had so many things like popcorn stuff we're going to talk about, but John actually came up with this great idea. Hi, Melanie,
hey,
to talk about what do you do when you don't want to open your heart. Um, and you're primarily talking about women.
No, I'm talking about men too, because we can close our hearts. We can be just as closed with our hearts, and we can be open with our hearts. So this is for men or women, but it's how do you open your heart or give a gift, even when you don't really feel like doing it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and I think this spawned from we have a couple of clients of ours on both sides, your men and women, that actually are opening their heart to the possibilities of reconciling with their ex partners. And so, we'll go high level because, and they've given us permission to talk about this. So just so you know, but it is interesting because what it's done is it spawned some interest from some other people that work with us. Like, what are you doing? Like, how can you literally, if you, I mean, divorce papers are filed, turn around and want to reconcile? Like, and how do you call your own foul?
Yeah, and this applies, to us too. There are times we'll have a disagreement or a fight, and we'll kind of go off in our separate ways, and I'll be sitting in a room thinking, man, here's the list of all the things, and yet I know something in me's calling out, I need to go. Let's lead her back. Let's lead us back. Let's do something. Let's open my heart. But it'll be a struggle. Like I don't want to. So this is not just I've got a monumental. That is certainly a case where I've got this monumental thing facing me, like a divorce, and how do I open my heart? But this is a day-to-day practice as well
Yeah.
of how do you open your heart? How do you give a gift when you may not be feeling like it?
Mhm. And if this is chronic and something that's been going on for a long time, it's really great to, I always use my teachers to tease it apart and go deeper in to find out where is that wad of hair, where is that place, that little sticky point that when you know that you get prickly and you don't want to open up. What does that feel like? How do you open your heart? And honestly, like anything, it takes practice. It really is about giving the other person really what it is that makes them feel loved and holding that pose, just staying there holding that pose. Obviously in a 10-minute live we don't have time to go through it all. If you're interested, we can obviously go deeper in a conversation, but it is possible. And really I think the main thing is to see God in the other person, see the divine in the other person. Is the world better if the two of you are together? That type of thing as well, and not see it from a shame, blame, victim space.
Yeah, I mean, I'll share an example, right? A real world example with us is a lot of times we'll have a discussion. You'll say something about time management. It'll tick me off. I'll start to get a little irritated. Like, why are you telling me what to do? You're trying to control me. You're trying to boss me around, right? And yet, if when I explore what's underneath that, when I sit and kind of explore, okay, well, what's going on? Well, I'm angry at Sandy. I'm ticked off at Sandy. She said this about me, right? But when I explore what's deeper underneath
Like
and
what?
go, well, like there's some truth to what you're saying. Could
Exactly.
I do a better job of managing my time, right? Why did I react that way? Well, probably because there's some truth underneath of could I prioritize better? Could I manage my time better? Could I delegate better, right? And so when I start to see those things and I see the heart with which Sandy said it, albeit the words may not be exactly the words that that would be the most effective sometimes, but I can feel your heart, and your heart is you want me to be better? You want us to be better? You want the world to be better?
Yeah, I think that's key too, is, find out where could there be some truth into what's being said. Like, what is there truth behind it? Close your eyes and go, okay, where is there some truth there? And then that really actually not just helps the relationship with this person, but it also helps the relationship with yourself, because there's always some slice of truth probably in that space. Now, listen, we're not talking about abuse, and we're
Yeah.
not talking about
Yeah.
name calling and, low level ways of communicating.
Right. And
Yeah.
this is not about blaming yourself and coming out being like, oh, well, this is always my fault. And, I'm the one who needs to go, this is not coming at it with that energy. And certainly, again, to underscore what Sandy's saying, if you are in an abusive relationship or you're in a toxic pattern where you're constantly being dropped or dumped or hurt, that's a different situation. That you've got to look at the trend and the pattern. But if you're in a relationship that you guys friction and there's these things, this is where we're talking about practicing.
Yeah, I mean, and again, just it's something really basic is, men really want to feel respected, where we really want to feel loved. And so there's a process in that. And it is so simple, but we're not trained that way. I mean, again, it goes back to the differences between men and women, right? But we just wanted to say, I mean, we're celebrating some wins, within our company, what's happening with our
Yeah,
clients, with
yeah.
people coming back together, seeing where they could actually, shine the light and illuminate what's right. And then, just sometimes it just takes a little, like the discovery call we did with that one couple,
Yeah,
where we had them
yeah,
do an
yeah.
exercise, and it had them exploring some different possibilities for them to stay together. So yeah, we don't want to offer that. Some people don't realize that we do that. We do discovery calls
Yeah.
where it's a 40-minute,
With both of
with
us.
both of
With
us.
both, there's ways to do it with either one of us, but
Yeah.
there's also the one we have. In fact, I put the link in ahead of time on this
Oh, you
post.
did?
Yeah, if you
Okay.
take a look, that's the one. That link will get you the discovery call with both Sandy and I.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
so and,
yeah,
and pass this along if you know anyone who is a couple that is maybe on the outs, or maybe just needs a little bit of a zazz. And there's some things that John and I can serve you with here too. It is possible to hold the pose in love. It is possible to turn the car around. It is possible to see things through a different lens. A lot of this isn't even your fault. And what I mean by that is that these are things and beliefs that are passed down. Sorry, honey. These are things that are passed down generationally, and passed down. By the way, we're sitting in a chair in the corner of this Airbnb. I've kind of set this. This is my
I know. I like the broadcasting from my lap studio here. Yeah,
exactly your lab
exactly.
studio. So it's so. Oh, I'm so glad, Melanie. Thank you. Mwah. I hope that you're going to join the society. I thought about you when we were creating this, so I want you to actually join. I look forward to having you on that first call. But what was I saying?
You're saying it's not always your fault. Sometimes these are things
Oh,
that we
yes.
can pick up from our childhood or
And,
from even
well,
before.
even before. I mean, literally just passed down from generation to generation to generation. And so it's in ourselves. And so that's why we use, we use theta healing and other modalities to help like strip these beliefs and download other things too. So there's a lot that we use to help people really turn that car around.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And again, the key point I want to make is this is not about eliminating conflict in your relationship. This is not about eliminating friction in your relationship. Because honestly, some of the conflict and some of the friction that it generates the polarity. It generates what you want, right? And but it's how you go through it. You're always going to have conflict. You're always going to have differences. You're two different people, and the goal here is really how do you go through it? How do you have a focus on what we got some conflict? How do we just put it behind us? It's a bump in the road. We're moving on, and the commitment that you're showing to each other. Again, not talking about abusive or chronically toxic situations. Different story, but there's ways to shift that too. There's ways to shift that
100%.
too, and make sure you're safe and you're protected, and start a different dynamic.
Well, and I want to say this too. I mean, one of the couples that we're talking about is, to really find out what it is that you really desire. And I don't mean just, sunsets and bottles of champagne or 5 children. I mean, like, what is your core desire from the inside out? And then what do you need to be respected? How can you respect? And what I do with my clients and what I did for myself when I was writing my relationship vision with what I wanted was like, what do I need to feel loved? And what gifts can I give that person? And so we basically come up with a process that's almost, and then we actually get that in the body. I mean, remember, we're embodiment coaches. We want you to get it in your body.
Yeah, and I want to actually praise you for that, because one of the things that I know I need in a relationship is respect. You know, as you say, that's kind of a common thing for men, but to be respected, not in like the Godfather kind of way, but to be respected for what I do and what I bring. And you are so wonderful about that. Like, you do such a wonderful job of lighting me up, of just supporting me, being there. I know. And what I love too is you do it for men across the board. Like, I'll just hear you praise men in general. That really lights me up that you have that and you give that gift. And
Thank you.
I love that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I think that we're satellites, right? We're always transmitting. And so, there is a flavor out there with women, especially in the feminist movement, that we really need to dislike men in order for women to be powerful. And I come from the place that that's not true, that we actually can respect men, show up in this sacred feminine space, and actually, even though we might be the minority, we can actually, change the world. So, I like to work with women that actually, want that they're maybe a little confused. Well, wait a minute, how do I do that? And so we go in there and we figure that out.
Well, that's something that I love, and I want to share this too, because we do work with couples, but a lot of times I'll work with men and I'll see the dynamic changing with their partner because they've changed, right? They're not trying to get that person to change; they're changing, which shifts the whole dynamic. The
Right.
same with women. I mean, where you're working with women, and it will shift the
Yeah.
dynamic in a relationship, even if their partner
Yeah.
isn't working with
It
me.
only takes one. And
Yeah,
who goes
yeah,
first? The person who is most vested in that moment in the relationship and don't keep score. I mean, it is fascinating,
yeah.
and I wish I would have known this years ago. I mean, you and I talk about this, like when my son's dad, I mean, we split up right after he was born. And if I would have known some of these skills then, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
like you talk about with your ex-wife,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Exactly.
When
Would
we
have been a
say that,
different
sometimes we
scenario.
get
Yeah.
messages like, why do y'all say that? I don't understand. Like, what if they walked in the door? I mean, I love my son's dad. I mean, I
Yeah.
love his wife.
Yeah.
We've been, I threw her bachelorette party years ago. So, but the thing is that what are you learning from history? That's what history can teach you. And then how do you do it differently? And this is definitely different than just sitting down and hashing things out. And one of the couples we met with a couple weeks ago said, this is so different than sitting in counseling where we're just talking to each other or
Mm-hmm.
at each other. We want to help you connect on a heart level,
Yeah.
and then from there, when you feel that in your body, then it's amazing how the actions will shift from there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like the thoughts will follow that for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it really is a moment to moment practice. It's not this one and done. It is, holding the pose, seeing everything in God's light. Is the world better in that space?
Yeah.
And we like to give exercises there too. So if you guys want to have a conversation, we would love that. We kind of get really juiced by it. Actually, a
Yeah.
lot. I get
Go ahead.
a lot,
Exactly.
a lot juice, a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She does. You get juiced anytime I see you coaching. You come off the calls just, whether it's a sisterhood call or now I'm sure the same's going to be happening with the society calls and
I love
one-on-one.
teaching.
I
I love
know.
teaching, and I love
I know.
connecting. And I feel like I have a lot of like soul daughters out there. I love hearing that some of my clients that are in sales and month end, I get all these messages from them like they're hitting rank again, and or they're superseding their goals,
Yeah.
or they're launching this business, or they just found out they're pregnant and they haven't been able to get pregnant for years because they've actually relieved the anxiety in their body. I mean, who wouldn't want to, like, woohoo?
Yeah.
I mean, I love that.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, oh, I love you, Lynn. Honestly, Lynn here is like one of my favorite clients. She just is just this ball of beautiful light. And Lynn, I do. I mean, you make me smile. Yeah, she's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Have you met Lynn yet?
I haven't yet.
I feel like you know her,
Yeah.
though.
Yeah.
I do. I feel like you know her. Anyway, so I just wanted to mention too, we did launch the society, which is, it is my monthly topic group coaching. Very, affordable. For the first 100 people, it's $22, which is a steal.
Unbelievable.
I mean, considering our
Unbelievable.
packages are
Yeah.
between $5,000 and $12,000, to work with me personally. And but it's not about the money; it's about the value. And for me, we really want to serve the world. And so, 12 million people affected by our work in 5 years, and that's a way we can really spread the fire. And so we're not going to go, it is going to be deep. Obviously, this is a precursor to doing some of the deeper work. But yeah, I mean, that is, did you put that link in there too?
No, but that one I'll add that in the post. So
Okay. All right, great.
it's sandysembler.com
Yeah.
slash sacred she
Society.
society. Sacred with a K. Sacred She
Yeah,
Society.
we'll put it in the
Yeah. Yeah.
And just remember, the first 100 people are going to be locked in for life for $22 a month. I mean, like for real. So yeah, I mean, I'm excited about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, again, because I get so honestly, it's like gasoline. It's fuel. It's fuel. Like I get so fired up knowing that we're shifting people. So I get messages and I get excited. So how about you? What lights you up? I mean, I know when COVID first happened, I did a master class on, how to find joy in uncertain times.
Mhm.
And words of affirmation is definitely one of my gasoline to the soul. So I get so excited when I get notes. I get excited when you give me notes. We, by the way, one of our hacks is I used to write with lipstick on mirrors in hotels in our bathroom. And then, well, you didn't like that. The housekeeper didn't like that. The housekeepers at the hotels.
It's really
like that.
hard to get off.
Not that you were getting it off anyway, by the way, but anyway, that's another story. But yeah, I mean, we keep dry erase markers in our job kits and such. Yeah, so just anyway, I love to get notes, and I get really excited when my clients send me messages. So thank you for all of y'all that do that. And in fact, I think he's probably even happier because I can be frustrated. I get a note. I'm like, oh my God. So anyway, so yeah, so again, back to opening your heart. A challenge that we want to give all of you this weekend is, find those areas where you're starting to close or you're starting to withhold your love, and then go deeper and go, where is this trigger? Where is that? Where does this come from?
What's the feeling underneath it? Exactly.
Yeah. Are you afraid you might get abandoned if you, but again, so it's this weird Jedi mind trick thing we do where we think we're going to get abandoned, so we close, versus like playing full out and showing up and then seeing what's going to happen from there. I mean, for me, I always say, and I use this term, let's let him think that you just got body snatched. Like, where is my wife? Like, what? Who are you?
Yeah.
You're like, who are you? Right? I mean, and spice it up. I mean, why not? So anyway, I look forward to talking to you guys and have a beautiful weekend.
Great weekend.
We're thinking about y'all.
We'll see
you
you
later.
on Monday.
Bye.
All right, bye.